So I want to talk about who I would support in the upcoming 2020 primary and 2020 presidential election, because I've talked a ton of smack on presidential candidates and even the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, because I'm an American citizen. That's what I get to do. I get to talk all the smack I want against these presidential candidates. But so I'm pretty much on the left side progressive camp. Although, nobody's fully progressive and fully Republican or conservative, I don't think. I think everybody has little bits here and there. So you can never find somebody 100% on your side. Just please keep that in mind whenever you're voting for anybody, any representative. Nobody will 100% match or align with your beliefs and ideologies and such. With that being said, I would not vote for Donald Trump in this upcoming 2020 presidential election. I didn't vote for him last time, but I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton last time either because she was a bad candidate. I would have voted for Bernie Sanders, but I wasn't a member of the Democratic primaries, or Democratic Party, so I couldn't vote in the primary. And so Bernie Sanders got cheated, so we don't really know 100% sure if he would have won the primary. But it was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I didn't vote for either of them. I voted for somebody else, third party. And this time, I'm still not going to vote in the primary because I'm still not a member of the Democratic Party. I would probably vote for Bernie Sanders, and then second would be Tulsi Gabbard, then probably Elizabeth Warren, something like that. And hopefully they all get to the general election, and if they do get to the general election, that would be my categories or my lineup, basically. Bernie Sanders would be number one because he's been there all these times, all these decades, fighting for what he believes was right. He didn't shift and had to evolve in his 60, 70-year-old age to realize that the public is right. I can still understand a person in power, a representative, still doing what the people wanted, even if they didn't want to do it. That's what Lincoln did. He didn't want to free all the slaves, but he still did because the people wanted it, and it was freaking time. So basically, I'm just saying that because I would still say you can support a presidential candidate if they say they're going to do something, and then also if they don't do it, keep pushing them until they do it. But I'm saying that because there are other people other than Bernie Sanders. Well, pretty much every other candidate other than Bernie Sanders says they'll help people, says they're for this or for that after a while, after some persuasion from the people that they're supposed to be representing. Basically, Bernie Sanders has been there on the forefront of what the people have wanted or what has been right for decades, and that's why I will still vote for him and still back him. Even if he's 80, I know he's in his 70s or whatever, but even if he gets to 80, I would still back him over anybody else because when those are the only choices, I would still rather go for this old man who might die any day because my vote was for him and for the people around him who believed his ideas. That's why I would vote for him first and foremost. Second, and hopefully would be Bernie Sanders' VP, if Bernie Sanders got the nomination, would be Tulsi Gabbard. And there hasn't been too much news with Tulsi Gabbard outside the liberal bubble. And when I took one of my political classes this semester, it was Introduction to Political Philosophy, something like that. Anyways, the teacher was like, there's no candidate out there right now who's anti-war. There's no anti-war candidate out there. And I wanted to be like, Tulsi Gabbard, but I don't want to make a huge fuss in there because there's a lot of younger kids and they get spoon-fed a lot of stuff and they haven't done critical thinking just yet. But anyways, Tulsi Gabbard is pretty much the only peace candidate out there, even more than Bernie Sanders. She's been saying, well, she is a soldier. She's been saying she doesn't want all these wars just for regime changes. So I know she would still be for some wars, especially as a soldier. But she has gone on record saying she's not for the regime change wars, like the wars in Syria and Iraq and Egypt and Iran and all that. Well, we're technically not in a war with Iran just yet. Regardless, and she went further to say, if we stop these wars and bring all of our people home, we will cut the defense budget. She went out and said that. And we would take that money and put it home. Healthcare, maybe, education. She is for healthcare, but she's not for that whole Medicare for all thing that Bernie Sanders is currently supporting. I guess I just worry that Tulsi Gabbard wouldn't do what she says she would do because she hasn't been in politics that long, like compared to Bernie Sanders. But at the same time, I guess she does have a decent track record because after all this nonsense was going on with the 2016 primary between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, Tulsi Gabbard actually gave up her position in the whole Democratic Party and was like, you know, I can't be a part of this. This is nonsense. This is BS. You guys deal with it, and I'm going to be supporting Bernie Sanders because this is BS. That's what Tulsi Gabbard did, the representative from Hawaii. She did this. So she's been very, very progressive, more progressive than pretty much all the other candidates out there, except for Bernie Sanders, of course. And that's why I would support Tulsi Gabbard second behind Bernie Sanders and why I would want her as a VP. I would go for Bernie Sanders, number one, first and foremost, all of his ideas and everything straight behind him. And if he happens to die in his old age or whatever, then backup is Tulsi Gabbard. And I'm not 100% sure if she will do everything she says, but she's backup. So hopefully in the backup, then she would do what she said. And then she'd be the first female president and like the second president of color. She says she's practicing Hindu. I never really care about religion if you're practicing whatever. I'm just not going to get into that. You can believe in what you want. I'll believe in what I want. All I say is, as a political candidate, as any political leader, representative, whatever, believe whatever you want. You can make some good laws with your religion and your morality. I guess that's fine. But please do not ever support anybody who makes laws based on some religion law, some religious law, some religious rule, whatever. Like, you know, gays can't get married. The only reason that they put that forward was because of religion. And when they're asked specifically from the Supreme Court, is there any political, lawful, anything reason to oppose gay marriage other than religion? If there's anything, please bring it forward, the Supreme Court said. Nobody brought anything forward. That's why the Supreme Court said gay marriage is legal within the United States based on the United States Constitution. That's why America isn't just some Christian nation or whatever. It is no religion, and no religion should be made. No laws should be made from religious laws. I think I'm just going to start ranting and rambling around. But presidential candidates and people who I support: Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard. Third would be Elizabeth Warren, I guess, because she's she's progressive enough. If she ran in the 90s, there would be no way she would win because she'd be that progressive. But it's 2020 almost, and 30 years later, she's not that progressive. She keeps talking about how she's a capitalist. She had her chance to support Bernie Sanders many times, and she didn't do it. She's, deep in my heart, I feel she's just another politician that's just looking out for her best interest to make her rise and to extend her political career, basically. That's what I worry about with Elizabeth Warren. And then other than that, who is there to support? Andrew Yang or whatever? He's like a total capitalist that's just found a few loopholes to give some people some breadcrumbs. He's not really going after the powerful, the people in charge. Not just politically powerful, but the economically powerful. People like Amazon and Disney and everybody, these monopolies that are just buying everything out. And I saw his interview with Jimmy Dore, and the monopoly problem he was worried about is just from the point of the consumer and making money, not from the point of this person owns everything and this is trouble, this is dangerous. He wasn't looking at it from that point of view. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna end the video right here. You guys can leave a comment, tell me who you are gonna be supporting for the 2020 primary or election. It can be Donald Trump. You can support Trump if you like. I would like to hear a reason why you would like to support Trump or whoever else, because like I said, I gave a number of reasons of why I would support Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard. So I would like to hear who you guys would support and why. And you can subscribe to my channel for more of my own personal thoughts and American related stuff. And I also have another channel where I do more newsworthy stuff, where it's not just my opinion. I might leave that in the description box, a link to that. But I also have a link just on my channel page. Just go to my channel, you can find links to all my other channels and everything. But I'm just rambling. End video. See you guys later.